Stripping down the street, pretty woman. Get a
like
Russian
to
oligarch. Right on a private plane. Right on a private plane. Suffer all the insults in the world. It's so hard out in the street to be a stripper.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard out here for a stripper. Ladies and gentlemen, this is JoeJinMovieSoAwesome. I'm Joe.
I'm Won-Jin.
Yeah, today we're going to start off with Anora. Academy Award winner, Anora.
What was it? Whoops. Best Picture?
I think so.
I think this won Best Picture, and it also won the Palme d'Or at Cannes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Before we begin, also our schedule is next we're going to do Brutalist, and then we're going to go do Let's Talk right away. We won't do Reacher or Daredevil reviews because we felt first of all, Scott Walker wants to do Let's Talk, and I thought we were just... Oh, what's up, Zizzy? Yo, Walker.
Hey, boys, how you doing this week? Got lots to talk about. News about Scream 7. Something really creepy about the moon. Last night with the full moon. Oh, yeah, it was the full moon.
Yeah, did you start your stripper career, Joe? No, we're talking about Anora.
Jin, the way you dress, my friend, you look like a veterinarian. Okay.
So, Walker, we're going to go into Let's Talk in about 40 minutes. Okay, we're going to do a review of Anora first, and then Brutalist, and then do Let's Talk. So you can join us then if you want to just focus on Let's Talk. And big shout out to Eva Truve, Prickly Pear, Jasmine, Kayla Marie, Music, Russian ID, Zach Miller Does Movie, and all our
Void a Parrot,
all our 56 subscribers. Here we go. So, my favorite of this series, I mean this movie, is actually the first 30 minutes. I wish they went in more in the sex trade. Really, that was I like the portrayal. I like how they try to make it more like authentic. Because we titled this Pretty Woman, but we have that image of Julia Roberts.
Yeah, it's very modernized. It's not embellished in any way. And I agree. The first 30 minutes was very immersive, not only because of it entailing this inside view of like a strip club, but also because I was keep asking myself, so where's the story going? So it kind of felt like watching like a reality show.
I also thought it was a more realistic version of Dune when Paul wakes up from the spice high. He's like, what? I'm not marrying you, Zendaya. You're just a Freeman girl. Fuck you. No, but yeah, because and you know what I noticed too, like, so we're all adults here, hopefully, I'm saying. So it reminded me a lot of Korea's sex trade, too. Because it's very similar. I won't go into the details, but... and I do like the fact that the main character, Anora, she's the main focus. And... But I did not expect that sudden turn of... Like, you know how... Like, the first 20 minutes is almost a montage. Yeah. And then it just goes into what happens in a day. Yeah. Which was filmed really well, though. It was really immersive. And the dark comedy elements was good, too.
Yeah, I was also kind of surprised to see that a movie that classifies itself as a comedy won Best Picture. So I was wondering, like, where's the comedy here? And then, you know, like that whole shebang at the house, at the mansion. Yeah. With the Toros and his gang, at that point I understood what the comedy was. Yeah, it was hilarious.
Yeah, Zezzy, I wish I knew more about Anora's past and where she came from. No, Zezzy, the point of it is she's every woman, or every stripper in this case. She's supposed to be sort of a symbol of strippers in general, because I thought the montage, because they added a lot of realism, because in the beginning the scene you have to remember is how she switches on and off on stripper mode. Yeah. Because when she's with her sister, she's like that bratty sister we know.
Yeah, and like when she walks back home, we can see her without the makeup, and she's just like an average girl.
And the montage is meant to fuck with us over that, because it drives us in, and the line starts to get blurred because the Russian pretty boy is such a charismatic. He was a great actor, by the way. Very handsome, charismatic, and she starts to confuse her professional roles, which happens a lot in sex trade, more than you think. No, you can't mention it and say, I won't go into detail. No, maybe another time. because maybe another time for membership only. Oh yeah, Igor, because
Oh no, Vanya. Vanya was the pretty boy's name.
Yeah, Vanya. So like, I like that line blurring, because it was so obvious all along, but we are woken up to that when the parents arrive.
Yeah.
Because like, Won-Jin, how did you feel? Like 1 hour 20 minutes in, I was almost sold on the love story, but back of my head, I was like, this is not gonna work.
Same thing. I just could not shake off the feeling that something bad is about to happen.
Exactly.
This if something's too good to be true, it usually is.
Exactly.
This just cannot work. I mean, this is not Pretty Woman.
That's why the comedy worked, because there's an impending doom here. Once they do the parent thing and what happens in the day story, which was great. And I gotta praise the Igor actor, because
that guy's my favorite actor.
My man,
here. Yeah, my man. Igor is, man, he's the best character in the movie.
Yeah, because like, he has such not limited, but he doesn't have much dialogue. But
it's very reserved.
But from the get-go, you get the sense like, is he a nice guy? Because he's very polite.
Yet he has all the exterior appearance of a brute.
He reminded me a lot of that Wire Russian gangster.
Oh yes.
Did he have feet? Did he have hands? Then it wasn't us. But instead, he's actually very like generous person at heart.
Yeah.
And another thing why his edition is great is because, I also was tempted to title this video Russian Parasite. Because there is sort of this parasite thing going on, no, Won-Jin? Because it's about the rich and the poor. The social element is really deeply ingrained. Especially when you see Vanya and then later their parents. Igor is almost in the same class as Annie.
That's right.
And that comes through because this movie is very subtle in some scenes. One of my favorite scenes is the sofa conversation after the divorce, where
they're sharing a cigarette.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I knew they were gonna bang once they did that. I wasn't sure they were gonna bang there, but I did get a sense that they're gonna bang, not because they're necessarily in love. It's because they understand each other.
They can sympathize with each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And one of the best line in here is when Igor says, "I prefer Anora." It's like, Joseph or Joe. Like, there's something formal about that name, something that's really uplifting. Classing you up a little.
That's right. It's basically, it kind of represents respect, I guess. And that also applies to Vanya as well. His name is Ivan, but he prefers to be called Vanya because he still hasn't fully grown up out of his parents' shadows. So I think he's still the mommy's boy, Vanya.
And another thing that I was hoping the movie did, but this could be my interpretation, because I thought the mother kind of represented Anora as well.
Oh, okay.
Because you have to ask yourself, is Anora's motivation pure as well, though? Like, because there's a lot of rebuttal to what she says.
Yeah, I like how the movie's so ambiguous about this.
Yeah. And you know what I love about it, too? I like how the Armenians are the realistic dudes. They've been suffering so much. They're very clear. At first, I thought the Taurus's brother, I forgot his name, the guy who comes to the house, I thought he was going to do some horrible shit, but the guy gets a broken nose. He clearly has a concussion. And, when he started throwing up in the car, I actually felt sorry for him. It's like, take him to the hospital. No, I felt sorry for both him and the pastor.
Because he had to walk out of his own goddaughter's baptism.
No, because it was kind of like, hey, if there's any Eastern Europeans, you tell us. Like, I felt like that worked because they were Armenians, because they've been fucked so much. Like, they're very pragmatic, like right to the point. This doesn't work. This is a fantasy. Stop it. And he keeps saying. And there is a scene where Toro, and he's actually shown to be mature, because remember in the diner scene, he's like, I hate you kids, you're delusional.
Yeah, he's like lashing out from his frustration. He's like, TikTok, Instagram, you Gen Zs.
But there is a trace of wisdom in those words, though, because it's representing Anora's situation, because she's like fully on believing that she's an actual wife to this pretty boy oligarch. Oh, I'm so sorry, Zez, you left a lot of comment. Igor is the bullied bully. It was that specific cinematic silence from Before the Storm. Igor was the supreme sweetheart. The banging wasn't actually a banging. It was an eraser fuck. Yeah, I mean, the last... We're going to talk about the last scene, too. Women do it when they want to erase any trace of the ex, especially when they are left with a very bad memory or traumatic experience. Yeah, Zizi, I mean, if you want to talk about that, that's a desire for real intimacy. But the scene is ambiguous because when Igor tries to kiss her, she rejects it. But in the end, they do something more important than sex or kissing. They hug.
And cry.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, Igor doesn't cry.
I mean, she cries, but and he comforts her.
Yeah. So that's the human moment. Because it's, because our attitude to sex is very complicated, right? In society, Won-Jin. Like, for example, like when is a line drawn? When do I pay for sex? Because... isn't there like a famous movie line where you always end up paying for women anyway? So there's this like debate of what is the line drawn? When is a woman a prostitute really? And we live in a generation of porn, like, because if you notice the stripper, I think the beginning montage is interesting because there's so many customers there of all ages. Yeah, men are coming by droves.
Yeah. Like old men, young men, all sorts.
Yeah. So overall, like, time went by really quickly.
Yeah, I agree. And I like how there's so much... I mean, there isn't, like, a lot happening in the movie compared to, for example, like an action blockbuster or something. It's almost like it's almost following Anora's life throughout the day. Basically, it also kind of feels like a vlog or something. But I like the details in it because I was looking around like at other characters throughout the scenes, and there's so much detail that reveals these like little things about all these side characters. For example, I love the scene where Toros and the gang they visited that candy shop to like borrow the guy's phone. I mean, Vanya's friend Tom, was it?
Yeah.
They needed to use his phone to check if Vanya picks up the phone. And if you watch that scene again carefully, you'll notice how Igor's face kind of lights up when he walks into the candy store. And he's like, basically, like, he's genuinely fascinated by all the candies. And I also love the fact that when he gets the order to like bash up the shit in the candy store, he immediately does it. And it's also a very interesting point because of all the characters in the whole movie, he's the only one who manages to not fail at things. He gets things done. Everybody else fails at shit.
I feel like Igor's character is kind of Leonardo DiCaprio's father in Departed, except the gangster part. Because, one of the things Igor says to Anora is, I'm glad you're not part of this family. Like, he's very perspective about his situation. You know how, because they take everything from you. Yeah. The overlords. And I thought that would be what, like, the reason why Jack Nicholson's character respected Leonardo DiCaprio's father, because he's even better than Igor. He said, "Fuck you," like, because he's kind of explained as a man of balls, right? He was not a coward, clearly, but he decided to go to the airport because he would rather, make an honest living. Not work for somebody like Jack Nicholson or these people. And I thought Igor had a similar wisdom, except maybe Igor's situation is worse off because he have no choice but to work for a family like that.
So yeah, ZZ, it really shows how Igor is actually pure at heart. There's still a lot of good in him. You can see.
Well, he still did property damage.
He did.
And another thing is, I'm pretty sure he did some horrific shit too. Like, there's no hiding that, because remember, the Armenian is like, Igor is necessary because he's there to handle shit. So I'm not saying like he's I'm like, he's one of those in Breaking Bad line where Mike says, not all cops are good. They're bad cops and good criminals. So here he's the good criminal.
Good criminal, yeah.
A criminal with a conscience.
Good point.
Yeah, and I liked his energy, and like you said, it was fun, and the ending was very smart. Because remember, there's a lot of shouting in this movie.
Yeah.
But that was the one time where something honest happened on screen. You know, what does it take to connect with somebody? You know, and I like the sex element to it too, because another great line was when Anora tells Igor before she goes upstairs, "What? Because you were gonna SA me." Igor's like, "No, I'm not an essayist," and she's like, "No,
so, why wouldn't you?"
Yeah,
it's like, because I'm not a rapist.
No, but there's don't say the word because I think YouTube doesn't allow it
Oh,
anymore.
okay.
That's why I'm using the essay word. Yeah, so I thought the implication was like, "Don't you find me attractive?" It's like one of those.
Right.
Because, you know, other lines, Anora and Igor's communication is unique in the fact that there are things that are said that are not said. But the other communication are all fucking direct. The mother explains, for example, "I'm going to fuck you up unless you do it." And the father laughing like that crude joke. Like, "And you're the billionaire." You know, everybody's very direct. And you know, one of the reasons why they're direct is I think it's because she's a stripper. Because they don't respect her. That's why they can be direct to her.
That's right.
Remember, if you don't know somebody, you're supposed to be very polite. You usually don't say things honestly. And I thought that was done really well too, where there's this subtle disrespect that continues to happen until the mother just says it out loud.
There's no need to be a hypocrite in front of these people.
Exactly. In a stripper.
And I also find it interesting, like how the movie is also it's commenting on how like the rich and the powerful can basically control your lives in a very whimsical way. Like Toro's him walking out of that baptism of his own goddaughter. You know, everything is done from the whims of these rich and powerful.
And another important point I want to add to that. That's very good. But it's like what they put value in. And even Anora is not safe from that, though, because she remember, she accepts the money, the 10,000 that Igor will be sending. And it's in there, like what these people actually value. More than, you know, perhaps like the last scene, genuine human connection. And even Vanya, what is he without his money anyway? You know, because in the end, he does a slip up, right? A Freudian slip. He's like, "I would spend 2 weeks with an escort," he says. And that's just when the whole thing. And that's why we like Igor, because Igor says, I think he needs to apologize. Because he understood the humiliation
that Anora would be going through at the moment.
Because she saw him as human. The others didn't. Okay. I'm pretty sure Igor is the lady's favorite. His unpolished looks is overshadowed by his soft character. Yeah, I even like the scars in his face. Yeah. She's assuming that all men only find her attractive and nothing else because...
That is what she's used to selling. She's used to weirdos and creeps, and she doesn't expect to be treated nice.
No, but that's why I wish they went in more on the stripper profession, because I really like the stripper on stripper violence aspect of it, the jealousy.
Yeah.
Remember, like
what's her name? Diamond.
Yeah. Didn't that reminded me a lot of black on black crime? You know how like enlightened like black intellectuals say is like they make us fight each other. Like when we have to be united. Yeah. And there were a lot of things like that.
It also reminded me of what Dave Chappelle said in SNL.
What's
it's
up?
Like, what was it? He was making a joke about what happened after the fire in LA. And all these like rich properties got burned, and these like and people from the poor neighborhoods, in interviews they said they finally got what they deserved, and blah 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 blah. And Dave Chappelle said that's why he hates poor people, because they cannot see beyond their own pain. It kind of reminded me of that too. I mean, it's quite tragic.
Yeah, maybe they did that intentionally though, because I didn't notice much wide shot though. It's always close up on Anora. She's kind of caught in this and but you can't help feel sorry for her near the end though, because we've been with her the whole time. And really, you know, it's like that Stockholm syndrome. You bond with the people around you because you find common humanity if you spend enough time with anybody.
Yeah, especially through trouble.
Yeah. And there were really great comedic scenes in The Judge. It was like Toro losing his shit. What? Like they're the most incompetent. Like
it happened in Las Vegas. Why Vegas?
Yeah. Oh, but here's an important question though. is this Academy Award winner caliber though?
I was asking myself the same question, but I guess what the judges, I mean, remember, this not only won Best Picture in the Academy Awards, but it also won at Cannes. So there's got to be something beyond what we see. Because if you, for example, we talked about Bong Joon-ho's movie last week. When you look at Parasite and when you actually really start to analyze these scenes, it kind of blows your mind, like how much thought went into it. So maybe I was asking the same question. Is this really like the best picture?
No, but Won-Jin, you're right and wrong here. Remember, it's relative. You have to look at the competition too. And Dune Part 2 didn't get any of that, right? I mean, I think it won some award for special effects, but like compared to Dune Part 2, what do you guys think? Zedzi, what do you think? What do you think? Is this because I personally felt like Dune Part 2 was a serious contender for Best Picture.
Yeah.
Because even if you're right, Won-Jin, you got to remember, like this is everybody. There's a race here, so I felt like this was not a bad movie, but is it that though? But at the same time, I did remember that Gladiator also won Academy Award winner. Yeah. I also remember Braveheart.
Braveheart.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like I personally felt like this was a lesser film than Dune Part 2, because one of the reasons why I prefer Dune Part 2 is I thought Dune Part 2 hit more universal themes than this one. Because Dune Part 2 not only deals with this through the mistress and real wife angle, but it also deals with imperialism, colonialism, energy. I thought it imbued it with more themes and made it a coherent story. Whereas Anora, I'm not saying it didn't do a lot of those things. I thought the scope was a little bit more limited.
I guess it's kind of unfair to compare with like a film of a completely different genre, though.
Okay.
So I guess it was a good film, but like you said, I'm not exactly like fully convinced why this was like the best picture at the Oscars.
Oh, another question: Substance or this one? Which one is the real feminist?
I think the Substance
is better.
Is like a better film for me than this.
But in terms of quality, right?
Yeah, but some people could disagree. Now, before we finish, let's talk about like the last scene, because I mean ZZ talked about the what it probably means, but I thought, how she refuses the kiss from Igor, I found it like it was happening because she spent so much time entertaining men for money that she really doesn't know how to react to like genuine kindness or affection. So I think that's when she kind of like breaks down and becomes vulnerable.
That's a great interpretation.
Yeah,
man.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. I felt like, because I kind of answered this question before. I just felt like there's a lot of way to see it that way. Just like ZZ said, she needed a
erase
sex,
bang or something. Yeah,
erase bang. But I felt like it was more of the film's message though, because we spent 2 hours with them, and they've been connecting Igor and Anora a little bit subtly, and then it's that climax where what does the hullabaloo of riding a plane? Because remember, the funny thing is in the beginning montage, Anora enjoys what life can give you, the riches can give you.
Yeah.
But the remaining 1 hour, you have to remember they ride planes. She gets mink coats, but remember she throws it away right away. So the first hour and the second hour contrast in the fact that the first hour hypes up those things.
Yeah.
Like these are meaningful things, but by the end of the movie, the last hour, they're all devalued because Anora is throwing her sable coat away. She's riding on a private plane, it looks like, but she's not even happy. It doesn't even matter. And it's the ultimate conclusion where they're just in a car. And remember, she makes that statement. What is this car? And
this is so you.
It's this grandmother's car. It's not a rich car. So all the capitalist money shit has gone. And she says she hates the grandma car, but she sure feels comfortable in it. It's that symbolism there.
Yeah.
So you are completely right, but I felt like if you like you said, if you watch the movie carefully, everything capitalist is devalued by the end. Just a scrawny car with an okay dude is happiness enough if you really think about it.
Yeah. So this is like a twist to Pretty Women, because in the end of the movie Pretty Women, Richard Gere comes to Julia Roberts' apartment in a limo with a bouquet of flowers. Remember, like a prince.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This is completely the opposite.
Yeah, because all the flashiness. Because remember, like, even the mother is shown as very degenerate. Like, is that my scarf? And she just throws it. The scarf doesn't matter anymore. Fuck you.
Yeah.
And that's why the scene with her and them like smoking weed together works. Isn't that the real closeness she's looking for?
That's right.
Not
Real connection.
Yeah, you don't, and you don't. And those friends are fake. And Anora is hypocritical too. She didn't give a fuck about those friends. Kimmy, where's Vanya? So it's not really defending Anora. It's just like overall all those things. You know? So anyway, let's give a number grade, man.
I would give this movie. I would give it a 7.
A 7?
I would give it a 7.
Okay, I'm gonna give it an 8.5.
Okay.
Because we're gonna talk about Brutalist, but that's a different movie. But this one, I did like how immediate everything felt, and I like the subtlety. And in terms of like dialogue, is it the best dialogue I heard? No, but I like the acting and the mix of it all.
Yeah, and I think the actress, isn't she like the crazy man, one of the Manson's family?
Yeah, she was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood,
who dies horribly.
Yeah, 7. Okay, no, I'm gonna give it an 8.5. So JoeJinMovieSoAwesome gives this a 7.75. So I mean, this is a entertaining, thoughtful,
immersive,
and Diet Coke. No, listen, Diet Coke compared to the substance or some serious shit we've been seeing.
Yeah,
I like the laughter element, and I think people kind of downgrade on comedy, but I thought this was every laughter was sad.
Yeah,
if you really think about it,
it's like those moments when you shouldn't be laughing, but it makes you laugh.
Yeah. Anyway, JoeJinMovieSoAwesome gives it a 7.75. We recommend it. Anyway, we're gonna take a short break and come back to talk about
The Brutalist,
starring Adrian Brody. This has been JoeJinMovieSoAwesome. I'm Joe.
I'm Won-Jin, and we'll be right back.
I was just outside, boys. I was looking at the full moon. And Walker, we're gonna talk about that in 20 minutes, okay, man? Bye.
Bye.
Boop, boop. Pretty woman. Yo, I want a movie where Cinderella claps the prince now. Like, fuck your money.
With the woozy.
No. She gets the shoe out and just stomps it on his eye. Like, eat that, bitch. Fuck you.
You think you owe me now?
Fuck your carriage. No. Give me your carriage, bitch. She's just robbing the place.
What kind of watch is that?
Yeah, she calls Snow White. Yo, I got a little bitch here. And then the 7 doors come and just break